All right, Brian, we're streaming live to YouTube
Really, that sounds wonderful.
on the It's Better with Hugh Cleveland Browns Fancast. Unsanctioned Cleveland Browns Fancast.
We're not sponsored by anybody yet.
Are you surprised?
Come on, we have to be sooner or later, right?
Come on, sponsors. We promise.
Cleveland Clinic, Miller Lite, Bud Light.
Let's start a little bit more reasonable before we go to that.
Miller Lite's not a reasonable jumping off point. How about Kool-Aid? Right here. Cherry limeade.
Come on, cherry limeade. It's
It's
better with you.
It's delicious.
All right, everyone, welcome to It's Better With You, a Browns Fancast. From Cleveland fans to Cleveland fans. My name is John Spalding, and we also have Spalding, get your foot off the boat here as our third installment ensues. How are you today, foot?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, John?
I'm good. Thanks for being here. What you guys are looking at now is a little bit of coverage from 2014, the last time the Browns had a full Muni lot. And you can just see some of the shenanigans that go on down there. Last year it was a little bit sparse because the team decided to gut itself and bring it down to the bare bones. But now we are back, and we had a great draft, I think, yesterday. So here's our kind of agenda. What we're going to do today, we're going to get some quick takes on the draft. You guys who have the link, you're welcome to come in. If you need the link and you want to come in live or you want to call in, just message me during the broadcast and I'll get you what you need to be able to come on in. And we're going to do review player by player, some of the web images we brought from yahoo.com. And we'll get some fan feedback if any of you come in and are responding and asking or answering questions. Then we'll talk through our next broadcast. Oh, look at that. Bottlegate's up next on YouTube. That'd be fun to watch. Bring back some memories. I don't know if this is Creative Commons.
Somewhere in there, you'll see Sturmack throwing bottles.
There's Bill Belichick. Oh, no, that's not Bill Belichick. That was Butch Davis.
Yeah, that was quite the game to be a part of, I have to say. I'm trying to get people to stop throwing things on the field, and John's throwing them as hard as he can.
That's cool. So you guys were there, huh?
Yeah, and it was embarrassing, I thought, because from where we were sitting, John wasn't making anything even close to the field. So I had to try to tell him and the kid in front of me to quit throwing shit. To no avail. They threw everything they could get their hands on.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Did you guys get a or was that just an ESPN update that you got? Did anything we need to know about?
No, sir. That was just a regular final. Indians 12, Mariners 4.
Hey, I like it.
Yep.
All right, so quick takes on the draft. How'd it go for you?
I was pleasantly surprised. And I wasn't sold on any of the 4 big named QBs, but I thought the Kaiser pick had a lot of value where it was. I wasn't too upset with that.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I figured if any of them were going to slip, fall down that far, and we were gonna have a chance to get him, he was I guess, for lack of a better term, he was the one I wanted, but not in the first round.
Yeah, they were able to get 3 picks before they took him.
Right.
So
which really was surprising. I thought.
That far to go down to 52. He was projected. That he was one of the top 3, and to have Mahomes kind of leapfrog him and Trubisky obviously leapfrogged everybody up there. So
that was. I don't think Chicago fan is very happy with the way that played out.
Yeah, you could see their reactions on draft night. You could see that. I would say 60% of them were like holding their hand over their head, were shaking their head, and
It looked like a Browns stadium.
you saw like 3 people in the background going, golf clap, we'll take that.
I clapped for it. I wasn't upset with it at all because I just meant we didn't have to deal with it. But to flip flop, 2 and 3 with San Francisco, what they gave up for that, I just thought that was. You give Mike Glennon a lot of money, and then Mitch Trubisky gets taken second, and God bless his pointy little head. I hope it works out for him. But no one saw that coming. Nobody could see that coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so let's get into it, man. Let's go through the players, and we'll kind of do our take on each one. Oh, sorry, I got to scroll up to the top. Thank you, Yahoo, for doing such a great job on presenting this content on the web for us to look at. All right, so this is a lock, right? Everyone knew this, but the media was making drama where there wasn't any. Myles Garrett, number 1 pick. Is he going to be a stud or is he going to be a bust?
I believe that's the no-brainer of the whole draft. There wasn't any player that they talked about that was a legit first-round number 1 pick in most people's opinion. So yeah, this was the no-brainer. I think they kind of tried to blow smoke for a little while there, but everybody kind of knew that card was handed in a couple weeks ago.
And I put in the topic for today is post-draft analysis. Do you have any professional experience in being an NFL player analyst?
No, I don't.
I don't either. That's why I put it in quotes. What do you think about Warren Sapp saying that he's not it? He's not the stud that we all think he's going to be. Any credence to that? Is Warren Sapp just a fan in the flames?
Every single one of these guys, from pick 1 all the way down to Mr. Irrelevant, you have no idea what's going to happen. Now, matter of opinion, I guess.
Yeah.
Warren Sapp, who did he like?
The kid's attitude. I don't remember him saying, but what I was going to say is I like the kid's attitude. I like that he actually played through injury last year, and there were a couple games where he was you could tell he was hurt, but made himself go out there. So I give a lot of credence to people when that's their drive. So, I think he's going to be good. I hope he does.
I'm just looking at SI.com, and I'm not saying they know more than Warren Sapp. Hey, he could be right. They could be right. They don't have one bad thing to say about him, which is fine. I guess there was a question or some debate about him taking plays off. I don't know. Well, they're saying he didn't produce the last few games of the season. Well, when you're triple teamed,
yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Now, does he get double teamed this year? Probably, but then you would like to think that frees somebody else up.
Desmond Bryant, Juby, who we'll be talking about in a minute, if that's how you even pronounce his last name. Although we were directed by our mentor, It's Better With You, that we should learn his last name because we'll be hearing it a lot.
Is that right?
Yeah. All right, so let's go to this guy. We traded down. First, what do you think about that trade? You were pissed.
Well, I was upset only with the fact that I think at that point, either Malik Hooker or who slipped down that everybody was talking about that they really, really thought was, we had Garrett was number 2 and this guy, or Garrett was number 1. Yeah, he was. You had one of those two was going to be there at 12.
Yeah.
I think the pick 11, whoever that was, they took Hooker, so you knew you could get Allen, and then they decided to go down, and I didn't understand what the thinking was, but I like Jabril Peppers. Watching him at Michigan, I could give 2 shits about the whole Michigan Ohio State thing. That doesn't.
Are you an Ohio State fan? See, so I think that's why I'm not necessarily a diehard OSU fan either. And so when I picked it up, I was like, looks dynamic to me. He can play both sides of the ball, and obviously special teams. He's going to be a monster.
It's the same thing with the people that that hate Ben Roethlisberger. Guess what? If they drafted traded him, and you had him, you'd be more than happy to have him on your team. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Without a doubt. I just hope that, he was already said he'll be playing on offense too. So we'll see. I mean, I think he does have some, and you can see on here, he might have some coverage difficulties or coverage challenges. So we'll see. But overall athlete.
I wonder what's gonna. I mean, does he go straight into the program because he had that diluted test?
That is a if. I don't know how that works when it's at the combine versus once they're drafted and once they start. I really don't.
Yeah, I see you. Who are you getting? This is from Yahoo Sports.
Yeah.
And they have him
on shutdown corner commentary.
Yeah, and they have him as what's the grade they gave? A B-, and SI.com gives him a B. So I mean, that's probably
okay.
They call him a freaky athlete and contribute on special teams and even offense. I mean, if you got a player that could play everywhere like that, the question is how will they use him? Are we going to run into the same thing with Pryor, where he probably could have played everywhere too, and then you did it the one game in Miami, and then you just never did it again for the rest of the season? I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
They're not the Browns have never, with Hugh so far, are not a very gimmicky team. Here and there, they might have one of those plays.
They did that thing where they did Hogan versus Cincinnati. I think Hugh uses it. He does gimmicks as game plans for different teams.
Right.
He'll try to look at something on the defense and.
Yeah, he's trying to see. We'll try to surprise them here and see what happens. And then they're like, yeah, that didn't work. No, we'll go back to the regular place.
All right, so then they traded up to get David Njoku.
Hey.
I'm like, what are you doing? And I looked at his highlight reel, and I saw that if you get in the first round, if you draft him in the first round versus the second, you get 5 years. You get 5 years instead of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, okay. And then we know that they released Gary Barnidge the day after.
Yeah.
So his Twitter feed, Gary's Twitter feed for Gary, first was, welcome David Njoku to the tight ends team of the Cleveland Browns. And then the next day was, well, I've had a great time here with the Browns, and I'm on to my next adventure.
Well, I think we'll miss Gary. Big play Gary. He seemed like a great guy on and off the field. Last year, he wasn't really, I don't think his numbers didn't really light it up.
Yeah.
This guy, man, they say he's more of a slot receiver than he is a tight end. So I guess we'll see how he can block.
I think that's the big question mark on him is how can he block?
This article right here was obviously written before Gary got his walking papers, which I thought was kind of surprising. I would have, if they were going to release somebody, I would have thought it would have been Seth DeValve.
Why? Seth DeValve, towards the end, Seth DeValve did better than Barnidge.
I mean, do most teams carry 3 tight ends?
Yeah.
So who's our third? So
if we had viewers, they would be putting comments in there right now, letting us know.
Yeah, undrafted free agent. Somebody will pick up. I don't know.
Do we still have E.J. Bibbs? That undrafted guy that made it? Undrafted dude that made the team?
It's Poss. I don't think we called his name out loud very many times last year.
He did not see the field.
Well, he might get thrown into the fire this year. I don't know. We did call out Seth DeValve's name a few times.
Well, that's what I mean. We did. I think they're feeling good.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with him yet.
All right.
Their grade for him is a B+, and SI.com's got him as a B. So.
Is that your go-to? Is SI your go-to, or do you?
No, actually, I just
focus.
I just brought this up to look at the list complete. I didn't know that they were going to have all these little excerpts and grades.
Yahoo gets very lazy towards the end. You'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, when you get into round 6 and 7, that you don't. A lot of these guys nobody knows a lot about.
Yeah.
So it makes it very hard.
So this is the one. This is the one everyone's kind of, what are they going to do?
Your starting quarterback this season is.
What game?
Oh, first game of the season against Pittsburgh is.
Season against Pittsburgh. Man, you know what? It could be this guy. I swear it could be this guy. They're saying it could be too, but like you said, they got a lot of work between now and then. I think if it's not him, it'll be Kessler.
Well,
I think Osweiler's better than Kessler, but I think that a year under the belt and in the system and knowing that is going to give him the advantage to start, unless he continues to not throw that long ball and not be able to make that decision to throw it downfield. Then Osweiler might beat him out. But the other alternative would be that this kid shows enough that they're going to run him out there.
I guess the other question is with the whole Osweiler thing, are they still planning on moving him? The rumor originally was that he wouldn't even be on the roster. They were just going to try to trade him, or they would just outright cut him because they basically picked up a second-round pick for him next year, right?
Yeah.
So
and that was when Sashi did the press conference. That's who they introduced the second-round pick, and then someone's like, "Well, you got Osweiler too," and he's like, "Oh yeah, well we look forward to having him come in."
We look forward to having him come in and compete.
And then he was already on the trade block, or they'll just cut him and da 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 da. So.
If it's a legitimate three-way competition, then okay. But don't say you look forward to having these guys come in and compete, and then it's not a competition, and then Cody just starts because you got to trust me, as some people would say. Speaking of which, we didn't pick. Let me go through the list here. We didn't pick up Davis Webb.
No.
I
personally guarantee that
I thought I heard it, and it might have been a few fan casts back. Somebody personally guaranteed you heard it here first.
That was a personal guarantee.
And that and then that just guarantees that it was never going to happen.
I believe that person is happy with the pick of Kaiser. One more question on Kaiser. Are we going to pick a quarterback next year with our multitude of picks in the first and second round?
Bella says no.
All right.
Bella the fat cat says no because oh
my God. Are your eyes going to swell up?
No, I'm not allergic to cats. I'm allergic to having cat hair all over my face. I'm thinking that this was, they obviously didn't go out this offseason and try to find a stopgap or a bridge or a Band-Aid or anything like that. They went out and they got this QB, which, man, I know it was second round. He wasn't a first rounder and all that, whatever. But I'm hoping he's something that works moving forward. Maybe we could put the quarterback talk to bed. Would it be nice if the Browns win 6-7 games this year with this guy?
Oh man.
They'll build him a statue.
Say this dude does pan out, and like you're saying, and we have 2 picks in the first round next year and 3 in the second. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that would be. Well, then that would mean that these maybe the analytics weren't always wrong like they appeared to be last season. Oof.
Analytics gets a bad rep.
Well,
analytics is really using statistics to make decisions. We all do it. At least most people do in their job or in their life.
You're right. I'm telling you, you're right. They do. You do. Everyone uses it in some way, shape, or form on a daily basis. We're talking about football here. Sooner or later, someone has to make a football decision. You have to make a decision based on a player and what you see of him actually on the field. Yeah. Not what the numbers say. The guy could catch every ball that you throw at him. doesn't mean anything if he's only gaining 2 yards catch, or after, doesn't get any yards after the catch, or can't break free on a route and doesn't realize when the QB's in trouble, I got to come back to the ball. Great. That's not an analytics thing. That's a smart football guy thing.
Agree, and I think that's where you and Greg Williams are going to come into play with all this stuff. And it'll be interesting to see the guys that they drafted last year and the guys that they have this year, and how that core is going to continue to come together. So let's look at this guy, Ogunjobi. Say it with me now.
Larry Ogunjobi. That's
Larry
how you.
Ogunjobi.
From what I understand, that's how you say it.
Yeah, I've been practicing it all morning. I didn't want to mess it up for this broadcast.
I wish you got 6.3305.
He did not get a good grade. He got a C grade. I believe it was. I'm not. Yeah, I think it's from Yahoo.
Wow. See, looking at this, the Yahoo, it obviously says the Browns are adding layers of talent to a defense that is shorthanded, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you look at the SI.com, boy, they give him an A-.
Okay.
They
Why?
say it just says he's legit. There may be sexier, higher upside picks still out there, but he's going to make an impact for however many snaps Cleveland can find for him. It says he could play nose or defensive end in a 3-man front, and his addition as a 3 technique alongside Myles Garrett's selection at number 1 certainly equips the Browns to trot out a lot of maneuverability along the line. So apparently, SI.com saying that, it almost sounds to me like they think they got a steal in the 3rd round with this guy.
That's pretty cool. And I've seen, excuse me, that he is going to be brought. I believe that. Oh no, that's not him. That's not him.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Well, hopefully it does pan out. So is he going to play on what side? Like whose place would he take? Is he gonna go like compete with Des Bryant?
I don't know that he's going to compete for a starting position. I think he's just going to be a rotational player, probably his first year in. So it would be interesting to see where they put him. Are they going to throw him out there on 3rd down or something like that just to try to get a little more pressure? Or is he more of a stopgap, getting in the way of the running back kind of thing to make him change direction? It's hard to say.
No, I think you hit it right there. Rotational player, needs some development. And we'll probably see more of him, not this year, but next year.
Just says he's going to make an impact for however many snaps Cleveland can find for him. And, hey, I don't think you can ever have a shortage of defensive linemen that can actually move. One thing we've learned over the past how many seasons, they need some guys. They need guys that can, with their conditioning has to be up, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, because they spend so much time on the field. By the end of the 3rd quarter, they're wiped out.
On that, well, and that's the thing. And they had some injuries last year, and so I do think that impacted that as well. They were just light. They were light on the line.
Yeah.
And you can't do that.
This guy's 6'3", 305. I'd like to see him put on another 15 pounds, getting about 320. I don't want a much big fat asses out there.
I was going to say, go eat some spaghetti.
But get him in the gym, get him on the bikes, get his cardio up, and put a little more bulk on him.
Okay. So here's where it starts to go down for Yahoo's presentation.
Yeah, mine also does the same thing.
So let's bring him up. We got Howard Wilson, the cornerback.
Love him. Don't know anything about him.
Yeah, I know nothing about him. Sounds passionate. We traded up to get him, and I believe that he felt very impassioned and very like a heartfelt thanks from him. He felt that was love that we went up and got him in the 4th round.
Okay. Hey, you know what? The more you can make these guys feel like they're wanted here, the more they're going to want to be here. And that adds to production, if you ask me. Half of these guys anymore, it seems like they're just taking half the plays off because they want to get a check and they could give 2 shits. Yeah. So,
and they took him in the 4th round. There was a lot of people that were wanting them to take a cornerback earlier in the draft. But if you look at what they did, they went defensive tackle, safety, tight end, quarterback, O-lineman, then they picked their cornerback. So maybe they could have taken one in the 3rd instead of Ogunjobi, but obviously they wanted him and they didn't think. I mean, there was such a run on cornerbacks that he might be the best of what's left by this round. And so they
Yeah.
just took a flyer, and let's see what he does.
Well, then that puts you back to why did you move out of 12 when you could have maybe had one of the better guys if that was where you were going. But hey, I can't point to anything that they did in this draft besides the move down from 12 to 25 or whatever. The only thing that I thought was awkward.
Yeah.
It was
awkward, but they got another first round pick.
Yeah, and that was thanks to Green Bay for being willing to move down 3 spots and not really having to mortgage the farm for that. I thought that was pretty smart.
And my buddy Ryan was supposed to come in here, and he's a Green Bay fan. He was livid that the Packers again punted and traded out of the first round. And he had some choice words for his GM.
Well, you know what? I'd love to hear a Packers fan complain. Boo fucking who? They're there every year. They have been there every year for what seems like forever. So you traded from 29 to 33. Is that what it was?
32. Yeah, 33.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Shut up. Okay. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, they squeaked by the Cowboys this year on, I don't want to say pure luck, but on the Cowboys being a little inexperienced and just playing bad defense at the end of that game.
Mm-hmm.
They should have lost. You moved back 3 spots. You'll be okay. I think you're going to be okay.
Sure.
It's like they didn't try to trade up to get another running back. I mean, you lost Eddie Lacy. They didn't make that move. So what is it? I mean, that's the only thing you can really bitch about.
So let's go with this guy. This guy is the heir apparent. I don't want to scroll and let everyone see the next name. That's a controversial one. Roderick Johnson, the heir apparent to Joe Thomas.
Well, see, that's a position I think I would have probably liked to have seen them address earlier, but at least they did, and they didn't wait till the 7th round or something and just takes. Right. And this guy. What do they got him? He's another guy though. I would like. I love the 6'7" part of him.
So he's 6'7", 298. That seems lean and mean.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and for 6'7", I'm curious what his wingspan is because you like to see a guy on the end that can really stand up quick and get his arms out. I don't want to see him get pushed back though. It's just a lot of the times the guys coming off the end got a couple steps and you're backing up a lot. So it should be. I guess we'll just have to see. I was wondering if he can play the other side, only because, man, I'm still
hating on Cam.
I'm not hating on Cam. I'm not hating on him at all.
Like he's our Cam. Like Carolina has their Cam. He's ours. We have to embrace him. Cam.
Well, at this point, I'd rather have Carolina's Cam on the offensive line. And I'm not saying anything about Cam. But I think they've tried him at every position so far on offense except running back. I don't,
he's on his last leg at right tackle. If he doesn't make it, he's going to be yet another first round bust.
Maybe there's something they can do with him. Maybe in the offseason, I know. I mean, I heard the rumors that LaCharles Bentley himself had reached out to him and wanted to talk to him and say, here's where you can improve, and this is what you need to do, and he turned him down. I don't know that was a personal choice. Maybe
imagine how Danny Shelton feels. Like Danny Shelton must have to wake up every day and think, I don't want to be a bust. I don't want to be a bust, and let it just fuel him to be better.
Well, Danny Shelton had a better season last year than he did the year before. That's for sure. But still, he's going to be another one that I really want to see. What he does this year, it's going to be interesting because now you're going to have other guys that teams are going to have to pay attention to.
Right,
he was like really the only one coming up the middle that anybody was like, okay, we'll put 2 guys on him, and he's then he neutralizes that.
Exactly, he was getting double teamed.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do as much jumping on the pile as he did his first year.
He's a hell of a dancer during timeouts. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's go on to this guy.
Is this the guy that?
The a-hole.
Is
this is the guy that punched a 5'8", 125-pound woman and knocked her tooth out and knocked her unconscious.
Okay. I know he says it was in retaliation, or no, he says it was in self-defense, and then there are other people saying that no, it was a retaliatory strike for whatever she did to him.
Yeah, it happened inside the bar. Like, so the interesting backstory is he was there with his girlfriend. This girl that he clearly Dubs loves the broadcast.
He's about as interested as you are, John.
Yeah, so supposedly it happened in a bar. He's there with his girlfriend. She's there with her friends, drunk, and started arguing in the bar. Took it outside, and it escalated and turned into this situation.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I guess the question there's. Sashi already said that they plan on releasing him, I guess.
If anything happens.
Yeah, and I don't know why you give a guy like that. I don't care what the circumstances were. What do they got him listed as? 6'3", 307. He punches a 5-foot-something woman in the face and cracks her ocular cavity or whatever they said he did, or broke her jaw. And then you go, yeah, we'll take a flyer on him. I wouldn't have picked him. I mean, I know you're in the 6th round. There's other guys out there. There's a lot of other guys.
I think that's the consensus of a lot of people is why even take the guy. Here's my thing. He was projected 2nd-round talent. My question is, do situations like this occur where people like this can get baited into these types of situations because the other person, whether it's a guy or a girl, know that they're going to be making some money?
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's like, I'm going to go F with this guy. If he punches me, I'm good to go.
What about this is how much of it is true? How did it actually happen? What are the witnesses going to say? Obviously, her side's going to say what they say. His side's going to say what they say. Right. And it's going to be now what? Same thing happened last season with Ezekiel Elliott, and that woman claimed domestic violence, and it finally turned out that it was a bunch of bullshit.
Right, and there's conflicting sides on both. Like the bartender is on the football player side, the people outside, the 2 witnesses are on the girl's side. I mean, that's what it's going to hash out in court. The interesting part is there's only criminal charges that are brought to him by the police. The woman wants a settlement and did not press criminal charges.
She wants so she wants money out of it.
Yeah, when you ask for a settlement, yes. And
so then
he declined the settlement, so so their lawyers are just still negotiating. That's why it's not handled yet, and it's still kind of muddy and unclear.
Yeah,
the question is though,
something's not stirring the Kool-Aid here.
So who knows? It's just tough. It really is, especially when you have an incident like this. So
there's no second to me. For me, there's no second chances when it comes to that. If it's legit and he did it, punched her in the face, and not only should they not have taken him, he shouldn't have been taken by any team.
So what's the penalty? What should be the penalty for a guy who punches a girl as opposed to a guy who gets an assault charge against punching another man? Because it seems like, and obviously it's atrocious and it shouldn't happen. My thinking is then there should be a legal difference between that type of incident and really go after someone if it's a full-fledged assault on a woman and you're a man.
I don't claim to know a lot about the legalities of this kind of stuff. I'm just coming at it from a moral standpoint.
Yeah. And I think that's where that's what a lot of people see. But I don't know if you ruin. So should they play in the NFL? Should they have the privilege to play in the NFL if you do that?
Absolutely not.
I think that's popular opinion too.
Because if he did what he did, he should be in jail. But the fact that she's not pressing assault charges, if she has 2 witnesses, but she's asking for a settlement, which makes the whole thing sound a little fishy.
I know.
He says it was self-defense. I guess we'll find out when it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah.
He might, nothing may happen whatsoever, and he might countersuit her for defamation of character for all we know. If a girl asks you for money for something you didn't do, would you just go, yeah, you know what? I don't really want to screw up my draft prospects, so I'm not, here's $100,000.
He declined to give her a settlement.
Then that means he either thinks, hey, no, bullshit, we're taking this to court.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you anything because I didn't do anything.
That's exactly what it means, but that it's just kind of tough to discount the evidence of the.
Well, then it'll be really interesting to see if this bar has
footage.
Yeah, footage.
All right, enough of this clown. Let's talk about this guy. We drafted a kicker.
Only the Browns.
Oh, come on.
Was there another kicker taken in this draft?
He was the best rated kicker.
I don't even rat's fat ass and a rolling donut who he is.
Listen, he's the best rated kicker in the draft. This is a great.
Are you
pick.
telling me this guy's going to walk in day one and outkick your boy Cody Parkey or Britton Colquitt?
Cody Parkey, we could have had 2 wins if it wasn't for that motherfucker. What are you talking about?
You know what? I'm going with Hugh on this one. The man asked me to trust him, and he said flat out, I felt bad for Cody in that game because he basically got a freaking plane, came in, and we asked him to kick 6 field goals. He made 4 of them or whatever. That was a.
So you think that this is a wasted pick? So listen.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, so help me with this, right? We took what's his nuts last year in the 7th round. That guy, the linebacker,
Scooby Wright.
They never pan out. So why not take a shot on the best kicker in college?
Because
it's a 7th round pick. Who gives a flying turd?
Well, if he would have been picked 252, I guess I probably wouldn't have said anything. But hey, I'll tell you what, if I'm Matt Danes, I'm pissed right now.
Wait a minute. Matt Danes got picked. Let's bring his name up here. Matt Danes got picked. Right
we could jump right to Matt Danes. We don't have anything to say about Zane Gonzalez. Zane Speedy Gonzalez is if I'm Matt Danes, I'd be pissed only because that means they took a kicker over me. So I got something I was actually kind of surprised they took a running back at all. But hey, I got to do a little research on this kid to find out what he's all about. Do you have his specifics on there?
Zane or Matt?
And nobody cares about Zane. He's not even going to be on the roster. Matt Danes. Can you scroll up a little bit there?
I can't.
That's it. We don't know what Matt Danes.
I have the screen capture for the video wrong. I gotta either change it or fix it. This is where we need like a tech guy to be here fixing this stuff out, Brian. But
we don't know Matt Danes.
Matt Danes is from NC State. He's 5'9", 205.
Oh, he won't be on the roster either.
No, I mean this guy. Come on. He's. They said he's like he loves his spin move too much. He's good for like a quick one move and then north south.
How do they spell his last name?
Dayes. From Stanford.
Matt Days.
Matt Days.
Get to know the Browns' number 252 pick. This is on Cleveland.com, so I'm sure they're going to speak very highly of him. 5'9", 205. Wow. I'm just curious to see. He had almost 2,800 yards in 4 years on 550 carries. What's that work out to be? Almost a 5-yard average?
I don't know. I'm tweeting because I don't care.
Oh, okay, good.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any idea.
34 touchdowns. That's what about?
Oh, come on. This is so unprofessional.
Come on. So you got 34
up Dubs?
No, someone pulled in the driveway next door. You see his tail right here.
Stop it.
He's very excited about the driveway next door. It does. I want to know.
No.
Let's see. It doesn't say. Let's see. Here's some strengths. Collects his footwork to efficiently plant and go through holes on the offensive line. Subtle juking skills to set up and sidestep defenders. quick to scan and make decisive movements once he feels room to work. Not a powerful ball carrier, but runs tough and drives his legs to finish. Okay. I'm curious as to what his how well he can catch the ball out of the backfield. It doesn't say anything.
Probably not better than Duke Johnson.
Bodies up rushers and pass protection and has the attitude necessary to improve in this area. Unselfish teammate, productive senior season. Let's see. First Wolfpack player to rush for 1,000 yards in a season since 2002. And he has 40 all-purpose touchdowns. His weaknesses: only average build and muscle tone for the position. Offers below average power as an inside runner with a bad habit of turning his back at contact. So that's what you were saying, that he loves the spin move, I guess. Exposes the ball at times in his run style. Requires hand technique work and pass protection. Not a proven workhorse with only one season with 150 rush attempts. He's hard on himself and allows mistakes to linger to the next play. So, there you have it.
Huh?
Hey, all I can tell you, John, is something happened.
Something happened. We drafted a running back in
We did.
who was almost Mr. Irrelevant.
He was how many picks away from that?
Isaiah Crowell's being grumpy, and he's not signing his second-round tender. He thinks he's worth $8 million a year, so we need another body in there.
Well, Isaiah Crowell.
He said he's going to sign it when he feels ready.
Is that right?
Yeah.
When's he going to feel ready?
That's the question.
I mean,
Isaiah Crowell, sign your tender, get your ass in there, do the work that you need to do to get your big contract after this year, and stop effing around.
Well,
because we have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds next year, and we will replace your ass in a heartbeat.
Well, and that's really what it all boils down to. Isaiah Crowell has to come in here this year and prove that he's worth big money.
Yeah.
To get a contract. He hasn't proven anything yet. He had a great first 4 to 5 games of last season and was leading.
When there's no line, he doesn't do shit.
Absolutely. As soon as the injury started to pile up on them, he might as well not have been on the field. That fumble he had at the end of the game against Pittsburgh, hey, he's got to prove himself still. As much as we love him and we're happy, and the people want to do their little stupid bird calls whenever he does something. Except that one right there, which I'm not sure what bird that is. But,
yeah, I don't even know if that's a crow.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's got to prove. You can't just. The NFL is not a. It's always will be a "what have you done for me lately" kind of league. He hasn't done anything lately.
Yeah.
Not for 12 games of the season last year. 4 good ones, great, got it. After that, no, half of that wasn't his fault, but no.
I'm trying to find a crow call on YouTube so I can bring it in.
Jeez.
Well, Brian, we're winding down the show.
Huh?
It's time to talk about our next broadcast. Oh, here it is. Can you hear it?
I don't hear anything, so I'm sorry.
Ah, darn.
But that, here, I'll get one for you.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get those preloaded into our. That's perfect.
There you go. Now you know.
They should pipe that through the speakers at the stadium. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. 2 of you.
There's 2 people watching?
Who didn't say anything.
Wow.
If it's the guy from Utah, welcome, and we'll hope to get you in here next time. If any of you want to join us for your commentary, you can come in via audio or video. Just sign up at the It's Better With You Browns Fancast group on Facebook or message us.
We're also taking suggestions to change the name.
Actually, after they fire Hugh Jackson, it's just going to be It's Better With whoever it is.
Terrific.
Next broadcast, what do you think? I'm thinking either the beginning of OTAs or the end of OTAs.
I would think when do OTA start?
Middle of the month, middle of May.
Yeah, I would think we should probably revisit this. Oh man, it's almost it's end of April, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
About 4 weeks,
Yep.
say.
Yep. End of OTAs. We will be back for our next broadcast, and then after that, we will be back for training camp. We don't want to overburden you guys with our wisdom, but thanks for tuning in to It's Better With You. Foot, I tell you, man, it's always a pleasure talking with you. We're going to
Jeff,
end the broadcast, but you can stay on for a debrief.
thank you, sir. It's my pleasure.
See you guys later.